Alright, so here is the bike as it came back from the BMX Museum forum member Lou, who specializes in painting bikes. Actually, I think he's a painter by trade, and he's a BMX, old school BMX enthusiast, so I think he kind of does bmxmuseum.com forum members kind of a side service of painting their bikes for him. He knows his bikes really well. He's able to match a lot of those classic colors like this GT purple really well. And he also painted a bunch of these white parts for me. He did a really good job on a lot of this stuff. This used to be silver, this Diacomp Nippon front brake. I actually painted two different gyro sets. That's the original gyro that came with my bike, and this is a gyro 2. There's a slight difference in this is the bottom part, the bottom bracket on gyro 1. And actually this is a gyro 1 bottom bracket. The bottom goes right there on the headset, on the head tube. But anyway, he painted all the stuff. He even he had painted this whole thing white, of course, and then kind of, I guess, sanded that top part off to get that silver color back on there. That's pretty cool. He even painted this black for me, which I didn't ask him to do, but that's cool. This used to be black. This is a 1987 GT seat clamp. Used to be black. He painted it white for me. These are some Diacomp 990 brake levers. Actually go on the frame like that, sort of. You'll see when I put it together. Yeah, he kept this really clean. He actually sandblasted it all down to the bare metal. He did some repair work on the dropouts. You can still see where the wheels were tightened on the dropouts here. The serial number is actually on the other dropout on the inside. I'm not going to flip it over because it's kind of hard to do with one hand. But he did a good job keeping the logos. You can see the GT logo kind of there, and on the side it's kind of hard to see as best he could. It's a little difficult to keep the GT stamp on this seat post. See if I can find it. You can kind of see it there. It's a little blurry, but he managed to keep most of that. Still sort of see it. And then he painted these Tech 7 Diacomp levers. These levers are actually, I mentioned them before, but I'm still constantly amazed how freaking expensive these things are. I see sets like this. This is a used set. Of course, they've been painted, so they look pretty good right now. But you can definitely tell they've been used. The bolts are in baggies right now, but sets like this go for like $200 or more for the set of two. It's pretty ridiculous. So I'm really glad that these were one of the few parts that I was able to salvage, because I don't know if I would have been able to bring myself to pay $200+ for a set of these Tech 7 levers. They don't even go on sale. People don't put them for sale very often either. And it's so weird. They put them up for sale for like $250, and within an hour somebody's bid them and taken them. So it's pretty crazy. These are the handlebars. They're performer handlebars. He actually did a lot of, oops, that's what I need to do, is clang it. He actually did a lot of work on these, where he put like Bondo type stuff, I guess. You can see it looks pretty smooth. There was a lot of pitting due to rust. You can still see sort of the ridges there that's used to grab the handlebars when you put them on the stem. But yeah, these were really badly pitted, and he smoothed them out really nicely. So we're happy with that. You can tell, I mean, I used the crap out of this bike. See, the bar ends are all beat up, but they'll be covered by grips anyway, so not too worried about that. The real shame is going to be when I put this together and then write it. A lot of folks on the bmxmuseum.com forums rebuild their bikes or rebuild old bikes, not necessarily theirs, but they buy old bikes and rebuild them. This is actually my personal bike from 1987. But anyway, they build up these old bikes and they just kind of store them. They call them show bikes. It's much like building up like a '68 Camaro. You know, once you build it up, it just kind of stays in the garage with a car cover on it. Maybe you take it out on a Sunday drive every once in a while, but they kind of just, you know, it's more for show than anything else. I actually want to ride this, so now that I look how pretty it looks, it's going to be sort of difficult when I take that first bail, and you know it's going to fall. I mean, I beat the crap out of this bike once, and it's probably going to happen again. So this nice paint job, it's not going to last too long. I already know. So I just need a few more parts. I have most of the parts to rebuild it. Obviously, you don't see the wheels here. When I first got the bike, it came with the mags, 6-spoke mags, the GT mags. But I replaced them with RL Edge 48 spoked wheels about a year after I got it, and those wheels, they were pretty cool back then, and still they're kind of rare to find now. And I found a set, and actually I found a new old stock rims and hubs, and had them laced, so they're brand new laced RL Edge set. But if I recall correctly, and I've been reading forum posts on it, it didn't. Those wheels don't break very well, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to deal with it, because like I said, I'm actually going to ride it, so I might have to pick up a set of like Super Pro Peregrines or something that break better. But at first, my idea was to rebuild this bike back, not to the original factory specs, like it came off the assembly line, but back to my own personal specs, the way I used to ride it. So I used to have RL Edge wheels, and you've probably seen the video before I got this painted and took the rust off. I had a bunch of stickers all over it. So I actually found a bunch of those old stickers, just factory stickers like Odyssey stickers and Freestyle and Magazine stickers and Vision Streetwear stickers that were just all over this thing. And that's just the way I used to ride it. I also didn't like the Freestyle. There's GT Freestyle wheels, or I'm sorry, tires, and the tread was so thin on those. It's supposed to be smoother for flat landing, but I just would burn through those tires so quickly that I started buying the GT Bmx tires with the knobs on them, and I think I'm going to go with those again. I know they made reproduction versions of those, and even those are still kind of expensive, so I need to buy the tires. I do have the wheels. I still need things, small things like the upper gyro cable. For some reason, the lower gyro cable so cheap, like you can get it for less than $20 easy. But the upper gyro cable is anywhere from $30 to $45. I guess probably, if memory serves me, the upper gyro cable broke a lot more often, so there's probably just less of them lying around. What else do I need? How about some brake pads? I need the brake adjuster. I actually don't have the brake adjuster that goes up there. Yeah, that's where it goes. Need to buy that. I need rim strips. Tubes. I do have the grips for the handlebars. I actually bought jive handles because, again, that's what I used to ride. I took off the factory ones and put jive handles on them. Jive handles were the first grips I can recall that had the plastic bar ends. So you'd slip on the grips, which were hollow on the side, and you'd slip on this bar end and screw it tight so that it wouldn't fall off. And as you can tell, it didn't really save too much because I beat the crap out of this bike and the handlebars. So I need that, and then the most important thing, the cranks. The original cranks were one-piece cranks, but I always wanted to have the 3-piece Power Series cranks to turn it into a T model. Those cranks are very expensive, and they just get more expensive as time goes on. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go with them. They cost about $300 to $350, maybe up to $400, depending on the condition. $100 for just the cranks, and I might go with those, or might go with the newer power bike cranks. I'm not sure, since I'm actually going to ride it, not going to be a show bike. So Anyway, that's what it looks like now. I hope to have it put together within the next month. I will see you then.